Hello everybody, welcome back, and if you're new, my name is Chris. This is a video I have been dragging my heels making. My 10 best discoveries for the year 2021. I think most of you are in the same boat as I am. I picked up a lot of great fragrances last year, and my mantle could be filled with, I don't even want to say how many fragrances I picked up and I love, but it was either 50 fragrances or it was 10. And I can't believe I actually narrowed it down to 10. Now, I did put a lot of thought into these choices. The fragrances that you see behind me, they're not necessarily my top 10 favorite fragrances, but they are fragrances for one reason or another I'm so glad I picked up last year. Whether it was a great deal, or it had sentimental value to me, or it's a fantastic fragrance, it's a unique fragrance, an award-winning fragrance, whatever the reason, I am thrilled that I got it in the year 2021. So without further ado, let's just get started. I'm not going to go into great detail with each of these fragrances because, with the exception of one, I have spoken about them in the past. One fragrance is very new to me. I purchased it at the very end of December. It just got to me and I'm absolutely head over heels in love with it, so it made the list at the last minute and knocked something off. But the first one I'm going to talk about, I think I've spoken about a couple times, and the reason that I am so glad I got this is because I had my eye on this fragrance, I want to say for at least a year. This is a gorgeous, dressed up, sophisticated fragrance that when I wear it, I just kind of feel like, if you can feel like a princess, I feel like a princess. I feel like put together from head to toe, like $1,000,000. And that is Cairo by Penhaligon's. This is a gorgeous fragrance that is rose, woods, and spices. So this is a gorgeous, deep, dark, velvety rose that is supposed to be kind of stewing or macerating in these gorgeous spices with a kind of a heavy, woody undercurrent. There is a beautiful dose of saffron in here, but it's not super powerful. It's present. There's gorgeous incense in here. Absolutely, you can detect that. The rose, like I said, is gorgeous and velvety and deep. This has a beautiful patchouli note, and this fragrance gets so gorgeously sweet on the dry down to me. I love it, love it, love it. It has great longevity. This is not a quiet fragrance. This is gonna last pretty much all day on you. Gorgeous, and I am so glad I have this beauty because it's nice to have a fragrance in my collection that when I put it on, I just feel dressed up from head to toe. This is one of my fancier fragrances. Okay, the next one up is a fragrance by Henry Rose, and it is called Queens and Monsters. And I'm super glad that I picked this fragrance up because I had known about the brand Henry Rose in the past and just didn't really give it the time of day. I just assumed that it was like an overpriced celebrity line and never really took a chance until last year. And I don't know what it was that triggered me to get the Discovery sets, but I ended up getting the Discovery sets and couldn't believe how amazing that line is. The quality, the fragrances are so well put together. They're clean and they smell amazing. And I would be happy with any or all of the fragrances in the line, but the one that really spoke to me first, I have two, but the one that is really, really special is kind of their sandalwood-based fragrance, and it is the Queens and Monsters. This is definitely sandalwood forward. It's known as a sandalwood fragrance, and it has a really nice greenish opening, whether it's violet leaf or neroli or petitgrain. It's something in there. Has a nice freshness, but for me, the beauty of this, the magic is in the dry down. This has a gorgeous vanillic sandalwood and a cocoa musk that is just, in my opinion, to die for. It smells so good. So you have this vanillic sandalwood with a little bit of a cocoa musk that gives it a little bit of a, like a chocolatiness, I guess. It's not overly chocolatey, but it's that cocoa musk gives it that beautiful warm sweetness. This is gorgeous. This is an award-winning fragrance. I think this got Best of Beauty for Allure probably the year 2020. So I'm super happy I picked up this fragrance. I'm super happy that I gave Henry Rose a chance. I have a second fragrance from them Darkest Night, and I have 2 other on my wish list for the year 2022. I speak about this fragrance all the time, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time. This was one of my favorite fragrances recommended by a subscriber from last year, and it's one of my favorite fragrances. I love this. I probably will take this on a deserted island if I ever had to, and one of these days I'll do that deserted island video, and it is Kaftan by Yves Saint Laurent. I just love this fragrance. This is smoky, ambery, incensey, beautiful, warm, resinous fragrance. It's got some pepper, like little pink pepper and tangerine. It's a little crisp, but the dry down, really the meat of the fragrance is very resinous and spicy and incensey and warm and sweet. It's just an intoxicatingly gorgeous fragrance that I talk about all the time for a reason. And I am so glad that this was one of my best pickups for last year. You know, over time, I think everybody's taste in fragrances changes. I know mine did. And when I started wearing fragrances, they were kind of floral. They were fruity floral. And then I've kind of weaved in and out of the florals and the fruity fragrances and the ambery fragrances and the vanillas. And I kind of got away from the florals for a while. And I came back to the florals last year. This is one of the prettiest cherry blossom forward fragrance, and I bought it last year, and I'm just thrilled. Absolutely love it. And it is my Sakura by Christian Dior. This is a beautiful cherry blossom rose. There's violet. There's a beautiful musk. I think there's a little bit of mimosa, but this is just cherry blossom, rose, musk, violet goodness. I just love the way this is composed. This is a fragrance that I think is perfect for spring and summer. I don't really wear it in the wintertime. I haven't really worn it in the past several months. It just shines in the spring and summer because it is, you know, it is a bright, clean, fresh, delicate, elegant, and just beautifully chic floral fragrance that I love, and I am thrilled to death that I got this last year. This is not a heavy fragrance. This is on the lighter side, but it will get you at least half day. Love it. Hands down, one of the most stunningly gorgeous fragrances in my entire collection is a fragrance I picked up last year. And it's from a house that I discovered last year, EBK, and this is the beautiful Ruby and Vanilla Intense. The brand EBK, they know how to do decadence. They know how to make a gorgeous, decadent, velvety fragrance. I don't know how they do it, but this is one of the most velvety fragrances I own, and it actually has velvety notes in the fragrance. This is the most beautiful vanilla. The vanilla in here is Vanilla Absolute. This has almonds. There's this gorgeous, slightly spicy, citrusy note from the mandarin, but it's it's subtle, but present and so perfectly blended. One of the most perfectly blended fragrances I own. A little bit of a woodiness from guaiac wood. There's patchouli in here and just a little bit of ambergris. Just gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. So glad that I found the house, gave them a chance, purchased this fragrance, and have it as part of my collection. Definitely one of the most beautiful fragrances I own. Another fragrance I had known about for a couple years, but didn't get around to purchasing it till about a year ago. I think it was January. Was it January? I think it was January when I purchased it because I found it at the cosmetics company store and I got it at a huge discount. I love this fragrance, but I wasn't gonna pay full price for it. But I loved it even more at half off, and it is Last Cherry by Tom Ford. The most gorgeous, syrupy, boozy, maraschino cherry fragrance. It's just so darn delicious. A little bit of almond. I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other notes, maybe a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of cherry tobacco thing going on, but mainly what I get is a boozy, a syrupy, boozy maraschino cherry that I could just put some goggles on and swim around in for days. So I'm glad I picked this up, and I'm glad I found the cosmetics company store, which, oh my gosh, has gotten me in a whole bunch of trouble. Now I have perfumes of all price ranges in my collection. I have high-end, I have low-end, and I enjoy my decadent, rich, sophisticated, expensive fragrances. But what I love just as much is I love to find a fragrance that's affordable, like an affordable cheapie that smells amazing. And about this time last year, I think it was in January because I had this fragrance for my spring lineup, but about this time I stumbled upon this fragrance, and I'm so thrilled because this is a gorgeous, fragrance that is so inexpensive. It could easily be my signature scent. I could easily wear this every day. I just choose to wear this in the spring and summer when I think it really kind of shines, and that is, it got a ton of airtime last year. So I haven't talked about it in a while, but it is Trussardi Donna. Gorgeous fragrance. Everybody's probably heard about this. Is the EDP, you know, a fresh citrusy fragrance with some light florals and a beautiful musk. There is a nice, it's a yuzu note, so it's kind of like a yuzu lemonade to me. And then it kind of moves into these really nice, delicate, soft white florals. I think it has lotus in here, which makes sense because this is a very watery fragrance. There's something kind of watery about this fragrance. It's probably the lotus. The dry down is soft and creamy and musky. I think there's a little bit of vanilla. There's absolutely sandalwood in here. This is just gorgeous. One of my best pickups from last year. Perfect signature scent, easy reach. I will have it for a long, long time. So another fragrance I didn't get around to purchasing until last year, even though I've known about it for a while, is the gorgeous Pure Poison by Christian, another one by Christian Dior. I had heard about this for a long, long time. I never got on the Pure Poison train because I thought it was going to be too much of a soapy floral. And even though this is kind of it is a clean, soapy floral, the florals aren't screechy. It's not a squeaky clean, soapy floral. And it has this beautiful amber in here, which gives it a nice sweetness and I think keeps it from being too, too clean and soapy. The florals in here, I'm sure there's gardenia, orange blossom, probably some jasmine. Florals that can be a little on the heavy side or heady side, but there's this really nice mandarin orange, which gives it a little bit of a citrusy brightness. It's a touch fruity, but in no way is this a fruity fragrance. A little bit of sandalwood and gorgeous amber sweetness in the dry down. I love this fragrance. This is really strong. I would easily wear this year round, tend to wear this in the spring and summer. I don't know why I haven't been wearing it in the winter time. I think this is a great fragrance to wear in the winter when you want just a little break from those kind of darker, heavy hitter fragrances that I tend to pull for in the winter time. The only time I wouldn't wear this would be like 105 degrees and a ton of humidity. It might just get a little too much because it is strong. This will last you all day. This is a 4 to 6 sprayer. You could definitely get most of the day out of this one. So glad I finally got on the Pure Poison train. Second to last, and again, this is in no particular order, is a fragrance that I picked up in the summer. I went to this really big specialty fragrance shop in Houston that has just hundreds and hundreds of niche fragrances, and I spent hours kind of sniffing and smelling all the goodies. And this is the one that I chose to take home with me. Unbeknownst to me is that this one is an award winner. This fragrance actually won Best Niche Fragrance for 2021, which makes sense because I thought it was a fabulous fragrance as well. I'm surprised it does not get more attention. It doesn't get any airtime, even though it won the best fragrance. So it is a recognized fragrance. I never hear anyone talk about it, but it is a gorgeous fragrance by Arquiste. I have 3 or 4 fragrances by the House of Arquiste that I love. This is called Misfit. This is a spicy, ambery, resinous, patchouli heavy fragrance. You have to like patchouli to enjoy this. This absolutely, in my opinion, kind of leans on the masculine side. So if you enjoy wearing fragrances that are a touch masculine, don't be afraid of this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, it's marketed as a unisex fragrance. This is so interesting and unique. It has a really nice aromatic spiciness to it. It's spicy, it's a little bit aromatic, but then you have those really deep notes. It's got patchouli. The patchouli is pretty heavy. There is a sweet leatheriness to this fragrance, which is probably from the labdanum, and it's sweet maybe from the tonka. There's tonka bean in here as well. I think the aromatics are some interesting aromatics like lavender, carrot seed, and some angelica, which gives it a nice green freshness. It's a touch sweet, but it's not gourmand, and 2 to 3 sprays are gonna last you the full day. So I'm super glad I have this beautiful award-winning fragrance in my collection that I picked up last year. And the very last one to make the list is actually the newest in my collection. I just got this fragrance. I ordered it at the end of December, so I haven't had the full bottle very long. This is a fragrance by a house that I love, Inicia Perfumes. I love that fragrance house, but this fragrance, I was afraid of. It has notes in here that I just thought I wouldn't care for. and that is absolute aphrodisiac. I did get a sample of it in the summer, and I'm telling you, maybe sometimes those samples can kind of help you decide if it's a big yes or a big no, but there's a big difference between wearing this fragrance, spraying on this fragrance and wearing it fully, and dabbing on a little sample. It's like night and day. And I wasn't sold when I had the dabber, but this fragrance is absolutely stunning. And the notes in here that I was afraid of was castoreum. I don't like a whole lot of animalic, like really funky animalic notes are not my bag, baby. And this also had leather in it, so I thought leather and castoreum and vanilla, that just doesn't sound appealing. I have so many vanillas that I love. I thought, I'm set, I don't need it. Let me tell you how wrong I am, or how wrong I was. This is a stunning, and I'm gonna spray myself. I'm gonna spray myself. This is so gorgeous. This is, and it gets prettier as the day progresses. This is a gorgeous, luscious, creamy, decadent vanilla with musk. That's basically what I get. It is gorgeous. So if you are a vanilla lover and you tend to like musk, those two together are just a match made in heaven. It is stunning. This has tremendous longevity, tremendous sillage, tremendous lasting power. I wore this today and I could smell it in my little scent bubble, and when I thought it was kind of long gone, maybe hour 6 or 7, I walked into an office and someone right away said, "Oh my gosh, what are you wearing? You smell amazing." And actually went and got a couple people to come smell me. It smells so delicious. So I am so glad that I finally gave this beauty a chance. It is stunning, and I'm so glad that I added it to my collection. So that was it, my top 10 best pickups for the year 2021. Not an easy video for me to make, but I'm glad I finally got that one out of the way. Thank you again for sticking around. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. And don't forget to leave me a comment below and let me know what your best or your favorite pickups were for the year 2021.